Looks like we're going to have
Hello.
to do it like this, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
My
don't
connection got
apologise.
turned off there, so I'm here though. I made it.
I hope you're having a day full of love and joy.
As well to you, Ashe. Ashe. Same to you. I am. I'm here. We present, baby. We
Good,
live.
good, good.
Awesome.
So to everyone who doesn't know, this is Higher Heights. As you can see, I've got some of these merchandise in the background. I think this one's my favourite here, with perspective on the back. You can't beat a bit of perspective. So when I saw that, I was like, that one's definitely going up. You
Awesome.
know. And I think the reason why I really wanted an interview off you was because, like Lonnie Appleton last night, you're one of them people that, regardless of the horrible things that have happened in life, you've not become a monster, and you're still able to navigate in a world of monsters without becoming one yourself. And you always seem to be moving in that place of love and be full of gratitude and being thankful to everything you have, really. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have you up here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I thank you. And yeah, I'm here. We're here, and absolutely what you said was, being able to navigate in a world full of darkness, right, and being that spark of light or hope or enlightenment to encourage others to go ahead and shine that light.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So we'll get straight into it. Why don't you
Okay.
tell us your story and what brought you to this place in life?
Well, I guess I would start off by saying I'm from Rockford, Illinois. It's a little bit outside of Chicago. Um, those who know where Rockford is at or have got to experience Rockford know that it's a pretty rough place. Uh, Plenty of negativity, you know. Uh, and I come from a pretty big family. My family was religious, right? Had a religious background of being Jehovah's Witnesses. Um, I, to my knowledge, um, my father didn't know that I was his until I was 4 years old. My mother wasn't really present in my life. And my grandparents kind of took me in and raised me under their roof, under their household, right? So I had to learn their ways, right? And I understand now that, your people can only give you what they have, right? So if they were Catholic, they would have to teach me that way, right? If they were Lutheran, they'd have to teach me that. But they were Christians, right? So I had to learn that way of life, and I had respect because it was my grandparents' house. So, but I didn't get baptized in the religion, right? But I had studied their practices. I had to read the Bible every day. I wake up in the morning and read 10 scriptures. I had to do Bible study on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we would go to the Kingdom Hall um, on Sundays, and we go out and field service as well. Field services where you go door to door and you try to preach the word, like preach the word of God to people, right? And which kind of broke me into not being so shy or being not being able to talk or speak with people, that kind of broke me in. And then I actually was able to get up on stage in front of hundreds of people, right, and have to read the Bible, like give a talk, right? I would get assigned. It could be like Second Corinthians 1 through 10, and I'd have to, get up there and introduce myself and kind of go over what my talk is going to be about, and then go over the scriptures with people, and have like a 15-minute time limit. It was a start, and I honestly feel like now it all prepped me to do what I do now, right? Um, but a little bit back into, you know, what got me here now and why I didn't get baptized was seeing, and this is what I love about perspective, right? Because I was too focused on man, right? I was too focused on looking at people come to church or go to the Kingdom Hall and act all high and mighty, and then turn around behind closed doors and act differently and be differently in what they're doing, right? And so to me, my focus, I was so judgmental on man versus my relationship with the Most High, right, and God Himself. And God has a way of bringing you back. He has a way of humbling you. He has a way of sitting you down and reassuring you and understanding like He's the way, the truth, and the light, right? And not to be take the role as what His position was, right? But to surrender to letting Him be in the judge, right? Because now that I see what I see and I know what I know, you know, uh, it's not my job to judge, right? It's my job to lead with love and light, right? And understand that nobody's perfect, right? And that's kind of what was hurting me so much. And that's what kind of threw my perspective off with the religion, right? I got to see kind of my father's perspective or his relationship with his father, which would be my grandfather. I got to kind of see that be ruined because my father was a baptized Jehovah's Witness at one point. Then he got, when you get kicked out or you break the rules, they call it disfellowship. So he got kicked out of the religion. He got kicked out of the congregation, right? So then, what Jehovah's Witnesses believe is that it's considered bad association if you're not hanging around people that are following the word or studying the word or their ways, right? And you're not being obedient, they can't hang around you. It doesn't matter if it's your mom, sister, brother, cousin. Like my father couldn't come have dinner with the family. He couldn't associate. So then that kind of outcasted him to the world, right? So now you feel like your family's against you, world's against you, you know, and I understand that now. As of this current day, I wouldn't say that I'm a religious person. I have all respect for people that are in religion, but I'm at a point where I want to create my own ministry, right? I want to do Higher Heights Ministries of Christ because I want to teach people oneness, right? Because I've studied many religions and I've seen that they kind of all stem off the same thing. And you got the Heavenly Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? And it's kind of it kind of blows my mind how people cause all this separation and this division, and that's kind of what the devil does, right? He wants to come in and cause confusion. He wants us to be separated. He doesn't want us to be one, right? He doesn't want the unity. He wants to be able to pick us apart, attack us, and he wants to have the power that God has. And you got to understand that it's one. It's all one. So like I have my heavenly Father, right? I might be the Son, but I still have the Spirit, right? It within me, right? And all these religions they do that. So it's like I see where the downplay or the disconnect comes in between the different religions, right? And then I also understand this. A lot of people, they hear bad things about Jehovah's Witnesses or this and that, right? And it's like they shouldn't be focusing on that, right? And I had to learn that I shouldn't be focusing on that. You know, what's very important is your relationship with Him. It doesn't matter how many times you go to the Kingdom Hall. It doesn't matter how many times you go to church, right? Do you pray? Do you give Him His recognition, right? Because your life is a precious gift and it's a reward. It's not mine. It's His. It's His will, right? He created me in His image. He gave me the Spirit. He gave me the ability to be able to think, right, and act upon my thoughts. Um, so I want to teach the universe and the world. And I feel like if we have you see, we're fearful of the things we don't understand, right? And you much rather hear it from somebody that has experience in it than not, right? Somebody that doesn't know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses, they wouldn't be able to explain to you these things, right? And experience is the best teacher, right? If I just was a mechanic and I just became a mechanic yesterday, versus Johnny been a mechanic for 10 years, you're probably gonna want to go with Johnny because he has more experience than I do, right? So, I would like to share that part with you guys, so we can have a clear understanding, and then have an understanding on why the oneness and the unity is so important, because we see where all the separation got us, right? Because if I'm a Christian or my people are Christian and your people are Lutheran, it's like, oh, we're Christians, we can't associate with them, we don't believe what they believe, right? And it kind of puts you in a state of thinking or believing that you're better than them, right? Oh, and then it's like, as a kid, I always had questions like, well, my grandfather used to say, well, this is the one true religion. I'm like, how do you know that there's so many different religions? Right? And it just causes separation and confusion, right? And then when you don't follow the rules of this one, you'll turn away from that and you might go to a different one. Like there's people that are Jehovah's Witnesses that probably became Lutheran or Catholic, you know what I'm saying, or atheists, you know what I'm saying, and they don't believe. So now you don't believe in God. Now you're not giving him his reward, his recognition, and he just wants you to connect with him, right? So like I said, it doesn't matter how many times you go to church. What matters is, do you talk to him? Do you speak to him? Are you grateful for the things that he does? So me, when I open my eyes in the morning, thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for waking me up and giving me another chance, because life is beautiful, right? And everybody thinks that they're they're in some way, shape better than other people. We're reflections of one another. I see things in you that you don't see in yourself. You see things in me that I don't see in myself, and that's amazing, right? It's amazing that we can be that reflection, and it doesn't have to get violent, right? We can agree to disagree, and if it's something you don't know, I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not saying I experienced everything, and I'm willing to learn. You're gonna always be a student here, right? It's called the universe, right? This is why schools or colleges call themselves universities, right? And in order to become the teacher, you must first be the student. And I understand that. You know, I've been a student of life, and I've got to grow up on both sides, like two different aspects of it, because I had one side of my family, my dad's side, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. My mother's side was not, and they would be considered worldly. So the difference between them is Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays, they don't celebrate holidays. My grandfather, the best way he told me as a kid was every day is a gift, right? You shouldn't pick one day. And I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I went with that. You know, I was raised like that. That's cool. But it felt weird being that outcast, because when all the other kids are standing up doing the Pledge of Allegiance, all the other kids are getting candy and getting gifts for holidays, right? Um, I couldn't. You see what I'm saying? But then I had the other side of my family, which was considered worldly, right? Because if you're not a Jehovah's Witness, you're considered worldly, and our job is to try to convert people to God and come and draw them closer to God. But um, that's the part that kind of gets to me a lot, because it's like, you know, who are we to say that ours is the one true religion versus yours, right? When ultimately we just want to strengthen our relationship with God and make it to heaven, right? So I fear God. I don't fear man at this point, right? Because even when I was a kid, it was like I always felt like anything I do wrong, Jehovah God is going to strike me down and kill me, right? Or like he knows it all, right? And then it's like, to me, it's almost like you could say like organized gangs in a way, right? You get this group of people to believe something, you get this group of people to believe something, they clash, they go against each other, and now it's battle of religion, right? It's like, oh, I'm a Lutheran. Oh, I'm a Catholic. You know, oh, I can't. You know, we can't do that. You can't marry them. You can't marry that person because that person doesn't believe what you believe, and now that messes up our our belief system, and it causes so much confusion and separation that, you know, that's just not, it's not what it is. You know,
It's not
and so
helping anyone, is it?
it's not helping anyone. It is not, right. and
So
and even
just
with, yeah,
just
sure, go
for
ahead.
like a sideline question for the
Yes.
better of my understanding, when you say father, do you refer to the creator as father because of what you've learned throughout Christianity, or is there a particular reason that you call it a father?
So where I'm at in my perspective is I understand duality, right? Duality being two being one, right? So it's like you can't have the light without the dark, right? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my physical mother and father. So I have aspects and characteristics of my dad. I have aspects and characteristics of my mother, right? And I understand that, you know, in the Bible, how he spoke about is that he's the heavenly father, right? And just as important as that relationship is with the heavenly father, we call it Mother Earth or Mother Gaia. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I look at him as my heavenly father, right? And my job is I was birthed and he's the sustainer of life. I understand that crops grow, right? They provide the light. The sunlight actually carries intelligence, right? The sun rays carries intelligence. And, you know, if he wasn't real and none of this stuff was possible, like we wouldn't exist, right? Because if the sun wanted to, it can get so hot to where everything burns up here, right? And it's like, I'm grateful that it doesn't. I'm grateful that the temperature is just perfect. I'm grateful that we have the guidance and the knowledge to find shelter, to find that security, to have the knowledge and wisdom to, and be provided with the animals or um, the elements and the tools to be able to protect ourselves and survive, right? So it's like I'm grateful for it all as one. I embrace the sun just as much as I embrace the earth, and I embrace the sun just as much as I do the moon, right? Because you got to understand this: when you look out in the darkness, right? If that light didn't exist, you wouldn't see those stars, right? Those stars are beautiful at night. They're beautiful, and just like when you have a nice, beautiful, sunny day, and the breeze is good, and you can see everything, right? I embrace that just like I do the nighttime. So there's that duality that I was speaking on, right? And I'm just trying to help people understand the oneness, right? There's no separation. I'm no better than you. I don't feel like you're any better than me. You have just the same powers. We all go through pain. We all have love, right? And we all came through our physical mother to be here, right? So if we can agree on that, I feel like I'm on a pretty good track, and what I'm doing isn't too far off. And truth is truth. There's no debating what is truth. And people are like, oh, how's your truth any better than my truth? I'm not. I never said my truth was any better than your truth. I'm telling you, it's equality, right? There's duality, and right, and what you experience can help me step in your shoes and have a better understanding, because we're scared of that of which we do not understand, right? And that usually turns into violence,
Yeah.
right? And too many of our brothers and sisters have been taken, and I truly believe that. And you know, uh, if it comes down to me having the courage to step up and be the one that leads and speaks and create my company, which is like I'm not gonna get too far into that yet. I'm gonna let you ask me whatever questions you're gonna ask me, but I feel like we all want to go to higher heights. We all want to be better. We all want to be our highest self. And because, you know, if I don't love myself, how could I love you? If I don't have self care, that genuine love isn't going to be there. It's going to be almost impossible for me to love you. Now, if I show uh, self negativity and low vibrational things amongst myself, I'm going to push that off on everybody else, right? And I understand karma. You get what you give, right? And that's a universal law, right? And so um, there's no weapon against the universe, if that really makes sense to you, right? There's no weapon that can stop a hurricane if a hurricane wants to come. You don't know exactly when a lightning bolt is going to strike and where it's going to strike. You don't know where a tornado. We get out the way. We get out the way, right? And a lot of people start praying when they get that scared. That's crazy how you know they don't never want to pray when they get up and they just have breath in their lungs, right? I don't make my own heart beat. I don't make me have eyesight. I don't make me hear, right? But yet I'm here, and yet I have to share it with my other brothers and sisters, and it's a beautiful thing. And I love what you're doing, and this is amazing, and it's just a pleasure to be here. I'm grateful to be alive because I could have been not alive. I could have not woke up today, and I'm just grateful for this chance to be able to kind of speak my part, give my perspective to the world, and let them know. People won't know what you do unless you're able to, you build up the courage to get behind that camera or communicate with people. To
Definitely.
let them know this is what I do. This is, I do motivational speaking, right? I published a book, right? I'm here to be that voice for people, right? And I'm here to come with compassion, be creative, right? And show the collective that, I'm just one person, but together, you know, that unity, it can go a long way, and we can really change things around. It took forever for it to get as bad as it is, right? And I honestly believe that it doesn't matter what language you speak, the universe speaks symbolism. It doesn't speak English or Japanese or Chinese. It speaks symbolism, right? You don't need a book to tell you when to go to the bathroom. You don't need a book to tell you when to eat. You don't need a book to tell you what's wrong or right. It's naturally in you. It's just, and that's the free will that the Creator has given you. You were created by the Creator, and you have the power to create either negative or positive, right? And it's like, which one do you choose to put out? Because the more you put that out, the more you're going to receive that back.
Definitely. So I think the conclusion of that would be unity is the only winning strategy. in the game of divide and conquer. And the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself.
Amen. Amen.
So, who would you say are the most influential people in your life?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question, but I would say, to be honest, one of the most inspirational people growing up, going through what I was going through, and I guess it would just be a interview that I heard from Tupac when he said, "I might not be the one to change the world, but I could spark the mind in the one that will." And I looked at that like a challenge, right? Because I felt like I have the power to do that, right? I have the power. I think I can get that done, right? And once I understood that it's so much bigger than just me, it's for us. It's not for me. I didn't build my company just for me. Just because the fact that I built my company, that means I have the strategy and the know-how to build a company. And I can be successful, and I can go around and just help people do that. And I can be successful myself and just look out for myself. But no, I built Higher Heights in the aspect and for the purpose of, how do I get rid of hate, jealousy, and envy? I be fair, and I create something where we all can uh, be a part of it. We all can be accepted, right? You don't got to worry about this person making more money than you. You don't got to worry about that person having a better position than you, right? But it's like, back to reward and recognition. If I create something, right, just like God created us all, if I don't get my recognition, where's my reward? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, just to be recognized, just to have this opportunity to be here and being able to share, right? That gives me recognition, which that is my reward, and I'm more than happy, right? Because I understand that a conversation can change somebody's life and enlighten them, right? And I lose nothing by giving you my kind words, spreading positivity. The more I give out, the more I'm going to get back, right? And you can hold me accountable for my words and my actions, because people can tell you one thing all day long, but they can show you different. And we all know actions speak louder than words, right? I can tell you, oh, I love you, and then I can go jump in somebody else's box and be like, oh, I can't stand Trinity 7. She gets on my nerves. She thinks she's doing something better than me, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with her, right? And that's the thing, man. If you can balance it out, right, and you can embrace both, right? Because I understand I could wake up in the morning and be in a good mood or a bad mood. It's all off of me, how I feel myself. If I'm not grateful, how can I be grateful for anything else outside of myself? If I blame everybody else but never take accountability for myself, how am I ever going to grow? And you gotta be willing to know that you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. We're learning. Those mistakes turn into wisdom, right? And you not giving up turns into success, because you'll get there as long as you believe you can do it, and you become a better you every day, right? And you might not have talked to dark skinned people your whole life. You might have had this persona or this false image of people, you know, um, that they're all bad and they're all thugs, and they're devils and they worship the devil and all this and that. Um, People can only do what you allow them to do, and here we need to take our power back, right? And I'm just one person, which I'm just one finger, right? If I want to push something over, it's or if I want to hurt you, it's not going to hurt that bad if I hit you with one finger. Now, a fist, it's a lot more power in that. So that right there shows you unity, right? We're a lot stronger together, right? And we're all a part of this experience. And if you're not grateful for it, God has a way of humbling you. God has a way of putting you through those tests. And I honestly feel like all ways lead to Him. Whether you're a gang member and you're out in the street causing havoc on others, you're taking other people's lives, what ends up happening? Either your life is going to be taken, and then, or you're going to go to jail and you're going to end up praying for him anyway. You're going to be wanting forgiveness. You're going to be wanting all those things that you abused, because you don't know what you got till it's gone, right? And He has a way of humbling you. And if you were to pass away, right, and you're put in the ground, all your loved ones that are around you are going to be praying to God, and they're going to be sad, right? And they're going to look at each other and be like, oh, He's in a better place now. He's not suffering no more. He's with God, right? And like I said, people can try to encourage you all day, and like I can encourage you all day to be the best you can be. But if you don't take it and make it your own and actually apply those steps, say, you know what, today I'm gonna go out and get a new job. Today I'm a call my mom and let her know I love her. Today I'm gonna hold the door for a stranger. Today I'm gonna reach out to my ex best friend. You know, today I'm gonna go make a friend. I'm gonna give a stranger a hug. I'm gonna give them some money, right? It's like, man, we have that power, right? And it lies within us, right? And you have to believe how powerful you are, because with great power comes great responsibility. And we allowed these things to get us this bad, right? Because we turned on not only ourselves but each other, and now we have to reverse that role back. And I think it's time for that, and that's what I believe we're doing here. Right?
You know, it's funny you say that, cause my mum's Christian, but both her parents came from Wicca backgrounds, and my dad is Muslim, but they come from Hindu background. So my mum made a point of teaching me as much as possible, even though she was Christian, because she used to always say true faith can only come if you choose it. Like, if I force you into Christianity, you've not made that choice.
Right.
But the one thing that always made sense was when she said, we're all looking up at the same mountain. It's just because we're on different sides of the mountain that we think it's a different mountain.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and that's true, right? Um, oh man, so it's just so amazing. Life is so precious, right? And if you don't view it like that, you ain't gonna do it like that, right? Just to be able to smile at somebody, you know, and understand, you know, everybody around you, they love their family just as much as you love yours. They want love just like you want love. They want freedom just like you want freedom, right? There's no separation in that. You feel pain just like I feel pain. If my mother was to die, I'd be hurt. If your mother was to die, you'd be hurt, right? And instead of us pushing so much negativity on one another, us spreading that love keeps us alive and keeps us lit and enjoying and embracing every day as a gift for what it is, right? And if negativity has to be done away with, best believe the ultimate creator is going to do away with it, right? And see, like, I've realized I can only hold so much. I can only take so much. Just being a man, and like I said, I'm just one man. So I feel like I have to let go and let God. I can't be so worried about all the things I can't control. I didn't create all of this, but I'm a part of this creation. So it's like, I like to look at things as a puzzle, right? You get a puzzle and it comes in a box, and you got all these pieces, right? I look at each piece as a person, right? And how I put my puzzles together is I put all the pieces out, I separate the pieces by color, I color code them, and then I do shapes. I'll do the border first, right? I'll make an outside border, so I got the foundation. Now, and when I color code them separately, I'll be like, okay, well, these colors will go in this area, right? These colors will go in this area. Before you know it, you got the whole picture, right? But the puzzle wouldn't be the complete picture without all of it combined, which is another thing of unity, right? I don't go to the beach and pick up one piece of sand and be like, oh, this is the most amazing piece of sand, right? There's no other one as great as this one, right? And I don't magnify that because I'm missing the whole picture. I'm sitting here distracted on one little piece of sand when the whole thing makes the beach.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Arrival?
No, I have not.
So, in this movie, an alien spaceship lands on Earth, and they're trying to give a message to humanity, but no one can work it out. And it turns out the only way they can work it out is by all nations sharing their piece of what they've discovered to be able to put the whole message together. But this is why I wanted to do this Triniview, was because I got to a point a couple of months ago where Spirit said all the final pieces lie in the perspective of others. So I was trying to make friends on this app, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. Like, after I'd say about 3 weeks, people had like blocked me and ditched me and just stopped, start ignoring me. And I figured it's because I'm really intense. I'm like Sheldon Cooper. I've got these burning questions. And once you
Right,
call me friend, that's like an open invitation to
right,
offload all these questions onto you. Do you know what I mean?
right, right,
And another creator, Only Spirit, that's in Atlas's group, he was like, why don't you do some interviews?
right,
And I'm like, that makes so much more sense because I'm not having to try and make friends with people
right,
before having interviews. Like anyone can come in for an interview. If even if you've only got a few hundred followers, come in, tell me your perspective. Like there's no way we're gonna stop the mass harvest of his energy when we
well,
ascend unless we
I want to
find
give a shout out to them. Only Spirit, Atlas, Jay. I love
yeah.
you guys. I appreciate you guys for your support. Let's keep doing what we're doing, baby. We growing. We growing and we building, and this is what it's about. And if we all can get on here and give our point of view, it's going to help us ascend. It's going to help us show and lead by example that this can be done and it doesn't have to get violent, right? And you have your time, you have your chance to get up there and lay your piece down, right? And spread more peace and love and light into the world. And I'm so thankful for you guys and to come across you guys. I really thank the Most High for allowing me to even be guided to you guys. And I feel like what you're doing here is absolutely amazing. I appreciate the courage. I appreciate the opportunity, and this is amazing. You know, to
It's
me,
an
it's
excuse
history
to
in the
talk for
making.
me.
Hey, and that's how I am too. I go for hours and hours and hours, you know. But to organize it like this is a great thing, right? It's a great start,
Yeah.
right? And that's the thing. This is no what you're doing. Triniview is no greater than what I'm doing here. This what I'm doing here is no greater than uh, G4NG. You know what I'm saying? Guidance for Next Generation, what Atlas is doing, right? And even us doing that and us being great content creators that we are is inspiring somebody watching us. And that goes back to what Tupac said. I might not be able to change the world, but I can spark the mind in the one that will. And, you know, that's kind of what we're doing. And, you know, success leaves
Yeah.
clues, y'all. You know, once you stop being so hard on yourself, you ain't gonna be so hard on everybody else because you understand that's a reflection of you. You want to win just like they want you to win. But
Yeah.
we can win together as a community by bringing unity and spreading love and light. You know,
So that being said, have you ever met a single person that you 100% agree with on everything?
I can't say that, but I can say I've met people that just have such good energy that whereas like you know even if it's something I don't 100% agree with, that their energy is so captivating that I want more. I want more of that energy because it uplifts me, right? And it magnifies me. And it makes me want to. So that happiness is contagious, right? Because these people that are happy, it's contagious. I want to smile. I want to be happy. I want the finer things in life. And it's free to smile. It's free to say positive things. It's free to hurt. It don't cost nothing to hurt somebody. But we know you get what you give, and we've had enough pain already. We've seen enough suffering. I feel like the world is tired of being sick and tired, right? I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of walking outside and everybody looking at me like I'm the problem, like I'm the reason you're hurting and you're going through pain, right? Smile. It makes people wonder, right? How could you be so strong? How could you smile and all of this stuff is going wrong? How could you not be grateful when all these things are going wrong and you're still here?
Yeah,
So, you
definitely.
know, life is beautiful, man. And
So,
I
what
just,
would you say are your core morals and values?
my core morals and values would be love unto others as you want loved unto yourself, right? And I always see this is the thing. What I realized was when I was young, my life was very rough. It was very rough, and I didn't understand why all these things were happening to me when I just wanted to love unconditionally, right? And instead of me letting that turn me into being bitter, right, and becoming somebody who's self-destructive and instead of like self-successful, right? I converted that energy, right? I had the attitude, well, I was told, oh, you're not going to be nothing. You're going to be in jail or on drugs, and me not knowing that, like me knowing that wasn't true in my heart, made me have the perspective and mindset of watch this, right? It gave me motivation to turn my pain into power, right? Which allowed me to stand out and be a leader and be different, right? I don't fit in, but it's the reason why I don't fit in, right? I'm special, I'm unique, I'm my own piece of the puzzle, just like you are, right? And you got to go through those things. Those are tests, right? To see, God wants to know, if I put you through this, are you going to give up on me? Because I'll never give up on you, I'll never forsake you, right? And that's why it's like he's so amazing, and he wants everybody to have a chance to understand who he is. Because, you know, like I said, I having it so rough, I could have became a drug addict. I could have became an alcoholic. I could have been that person that's not converting that pain but pushing it off on everybody else, even though I didn't want to feel it, right? So I want people to. I had to become the love of which I was searching for and that I was seeking. I had to become it, and that gave me peace. But that started within, right? So I'm happy to be who I am. I'm happy to be able to heal and help others see it in that perspective, in that light, even if it's just the way that I was supposed to see it, right? But I feel like my mission is complete. Even if I don't wake up tomorrow, my mission is complete. I've helped more than I've hurt because I wanted more help. I wanted more love. I wanted unconditional love. People need to smile. They need to feel like they're worth it. They need to know it's okay. They need to know that they're loved. Because a lot of people that tell you they love you and won't show it, or they're too afraid to show it. They can't. They've watched too much TV. They've been brainwashed. They don't have any type of self confidence or belief in self. When they need to know you are the greatest. You are the greatest element here. You are the greatest tool. You're a galaxy gift, right? You're gifted. You're gifted. I'm gifted. We're amazing. And imagine how much better it would be when we could have that understanding of like, there's no separation. I'm just as amazing as you are. And together, you see what I'm saying? Like you don't go outside and just look at one star up there. What takes your breath away is seeing them all. That's where the beauty is. See them all.
Mm-hmm.
And embrace that, So I see all of you guys, and it's not my place to judge because I've been in that condition. I've been hurt, right? I've been jobless. I've been homeless. I've been friendless. I've been backstabbed. I've been cheated on. I've been lied to, I've been set up. I've been shot. I've been through hard things. I done had, health issues and confidence issues, And it's like the harder I was on myself, the harder it was for me to love others because I would lack love in myself. So I had to embrace it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's days where I don't feel like myself, you know what I'm saying, or I'm not happy with myself. But then it's days when I come across your page or you'll post something on your page where it's like, I'm proud of you. I want you to know I'm proud of you. And like that's uplifting, right? I didn't know I was going to come across that, but I came across it when I needed it most, right? And
There's no coincidences.
no, not at
Lonnie,
all.
Lonnie Appleton was saying last night, even if you only listened for 30 seconds, there was
Right.
something in that 30 seconds that you was meant to hear.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it all plays into the input, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's no separation. You can't think that everything's happening to you like you're the only one in the world and it's happening to you. Like no, it's happening for you, right? Until you learn that lesson, you got to learn self-worth. You got to understand how special you are, how unique you are, how you're needed. You were given the position and the role and the power that you have to embrace it and to share that with the world and be happy, right? And be positive and
Have
understand that you have a
gratitude.
part and have gratitude, great grace, spreading grace, spreading that love. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a gap that has held me back from talking to girls my whole life, right? Because I didn't have the confidence, because I lacked the confidence. I wasn't happy with myself, But you wouldn't even know that until I say something to you now, You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's like, oh, I didn't even know you had a gap, because it's not this. It's in here. The kingdom is within, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That was your perception of yourself, though. That's not necessarily someone else's perception of you.
Right,
Like,
right,
to me, I'm like a 4, and then I got with my husband, and he's like a 10, and I say it to him all the time, why? And he's like, but that soul shines so bright.
right,
Like,
right.
how can I
She
don't
talking about
understand
me?
how
I'm like a
anyone can
4.
ignore it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
you've got to love yourself. Like,
you
and
have
I
to.
do love myself,
Right,
but it's my soul I love. Like, my outer
absolutely.
appearance, that's something that's never really
Right,
bothered me. Do you know what I mean?
right,
But it's about who I can be, what I can give to other people.
absolutely. And see, you got infinite possibilities on who you can be. You can be anything you put your mind to, right? You want to own your own company. You want to be the first person to do something nobody else has done. You can do that. You know, you just got to watch where you're putting your energy into and your focus, right? You pick the seed, you plant the seed, and you water it, and you stay consistent, because consistency is key. Confidence is key, right? You got to know that what you're doing here is going to get you to where you want to go. Just like you are doing this with me and I'm doing this with you, I understand this is going to get us where we want to go, right? And it
Yeah.
takes us doing it, right? We can't just have faith, we got to work it, right? Faith without works is dead. It'll never come true. Your dreams can't come true if you don't show up for yourself. And then you realize it's bigger than just you. But your needs will all be met. What's destined for you will come to you, right?
So, what advice would you give to people starting this journey of spirituality and self awareness?
Be open. Be open. Be willing to unlearn and relearn. Be willing to try something new, right? Come with gratitude first, right? Try to be understanding. If you don't know something, ask questions, right? Don't make assumptions, and lead, you know, be respectful. I just really, I got 16 years of customer service experience, right? And in restaurants, I've managed weddings and banquets in Maryland at a place called Rod and Rail, right? And a lot of people that I've served their food for, I started realizing that these people don't just come here for the food, they come here for the experience, right? And whether it's a older lady or a younger kid, or whatever age, right? I treat them how I want to be treated. How would I want my grandmother treated when she goes out? How do I want my family members treated when they go out? Right? They want to have a good time. They want it to be memorable, right? And I'm able to provide that experience for them. So I get compliment, I get rewarded for my recognition. Oh, you should own this place, or he needs a promotion, or you know, I haven't had great service like that in the whole 15 years of living here. And like that makes me feel great. That makes me feel like I'm doing my part, right? And you'd be surprised at how many opportunities and things come your way, right? When you step in your light, when you truly authentic and you be yourself, right? But chase your dreams, follow your dreams, and ultimately, love one another like you love yourself, but at the highest level, right? Not just, oh yeah, I love you, and don't just love me today, right? Love me on my bad days too, because just like you, not every day is gonna be great. Some days I might be able to come 100%. Some days that 100 might turn into 60, and I need you to come and tell me, hey, you know, pick your head up. It's gonna be okay. Where you're at right now isn't your final destination, right?
Do you
And you
think
got
that's
people
why
that,
people are scared to show that vulnerability? Because people are judgmental of it, like because no one's 100% all the time,
absolutely,
but
and
because
that's why we
people
need
only
each
show it
other,
on, yeah, people
right?
only show
That's why
that on
we,
social media.
right? See, and they don't want to show that vulnerability because they think that it's weak, and they take that vulnerability as a sign of being weak, right? And they take your kindness for weakness. They think because I'm kind that I'm weak, and they just don't understand. I'm kind because I'm giving you kindness because that's what I want to receive back, and it's genuine love. It's unconditional love, right? I could be sitting here with Jordans on my feet or no shoes on my feet. I can give you the shirt off my back because that's how I am. It's bigger than me, right? And a lot of people put themselves, they try to magnify themselves and be, it's such a I, me type of mindset, right? No, what you do affects everybody else. If you ever got locked up or went to jail, you think that don't affect your family? You think they don't care? They don't worry about your well-being, right? If you took the last sip of juice out the refrigerator, you think that the whole family ain't gonna be upset because they wanted some juice too, you know? Or it's four pieces of chicken there. You're one person. You take three pieces of chicken, but you know it's three other people that need to eat. You took more than you needed, but you had choice, right? And that's where that greed. You got to be able to humble yourself and be grateful for what you have, right? You show that gratitude, and you give. Sharing is caring. We know this. We learned that since we were little, and that's true. Love is love, right? And we know hate is hate, right? Hurt people. People that have helped themselves are able to help others, right? And don't cast on the people what you don't want casted onto you, right? Don't judge unless you be judged, right? And like I said, it took a while to have this understanding. It took a while to be molded into the man that I am today, right? And to be that example for those who don't feel like they have a safe place to be. Because with me over here at Higher Heights, and what I built for us all is a safe place in what I feel. And I say safe, and I say this, the acronym for safe for me is still absorb favorable energy. When you come over here, you can still absorb favorable energy. You don't gotta feel like an outcast. You don't gotta feel like you're not accepted. You don't gotta feel like you're not loved. You don't gotta feel like anybody's better than you. Because like I said, you see in me what I don't see in myself. I see in you what you don't see in yourself. So I can look at somebody and I pick up on energy. The energy doesn't lie, right? If I walked in a room and for example, I seen Jay, right? She wouldn't have to say a word to me. Her eyes would tell it all. The signs and the symbols would tell it all. Body language, right? You can tell if somebody's looking at you. You can pick up on their energy. You can tell if you're wanted here or not. You can pick up on the energy, right? So that's why I say, like, I pay more attention to the signs and symbolism. See, at one point in time, we didn't have clocks on the wall, right? We pay attention to the sun and the cycles to where we know when to go home, when to start heading home, right? Even in our day and age now, right? If your parents say be home when the street lights come on, you know what signs to look for. You're gonna look for the street lights. So the street light come on, you headed home, right? When the sun starts going down, it starts getting dark, head home. I want you in before it's dark outside. So as the sun starts going down and you start seeing it getting down, you start heading home, right? Um, so yeah, I just that's kind of, I think that would help us, to return back to that type of understanding, because I honestly feel like clocks exist, but time is an illusion, right? How is it that, it's 9 o'clock where you're at, or it's 10 o'clock where you're at, and it's 4 o'clock where I'm at, right? And where you're at, they turn the clocks to that time, but yet here we are at the same time, right here and now, the present, right? What's the difference between the future, the past, and the present? It's now. Now. Yesterday already happened. The future hasn't came yet. The present is now, and that's why it's the gift. The now is the gift. Love yourself now. Motivate yourself now. Watch what you feed yourself spiritually and mentally, right? And energy is vibrations, and we're all vibrations, and we attract. Like attracts, and unlike repels. And we got some great examples for some great people that were geniuses that taught these things. That said, you know, um, the future of medicine is going to be sounds and vibrations.
Nikola
Vibrations.
Tesla.
Yes. And I've built a lot of my strategies. I have a higher heights. I started out, because I don't have the funds that I needed, but I didn't let that get in the way. I put over 500 hours into building this with no pay, right? I started with a conscious apparel line, which is the Higher Heights coat, right? Then I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. How about we go to fitness, higher fitness, right? Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of people doing fitness, because personal health is important, right? That and then a smoker's line, right? Medicinal marijuana or herbs is it's natural, right? And I feel like we're turning back to that. We're getting back to that. So now, not only do I have conscious apparel to where I have things like I help harness energy and leverage perspective, right? Um, I have a smoker's line where it's higher heights established since the spark, and I have a fitness line, higher fitness, and then some of my strategies that I built, right? Like for higher fitness, I use the 369 method, three different three different sets, six different exercises or machines, and 9 reps. You see what I'm saying? And then for each day of the week, you know, kind of going with those days. Like we all know, Monday is like more of a slower day. It's the start of our week, right? So like that's a light day. 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of swimming, maybe going to sauna or go for a walk, right? Just doing something active. And then Tuesday we turn it up. We go to arms that day, and so on and so forth. And I feel like since I was able to do it for me on a small scale, I could do it for everybody else. It's like a micro macro type of perspective. If I could do it for me, I could do it for you. Just like I built my company, I can help you with the same strategies and you can get yours going. But I'm not going to be one that gives, and everybody just wants to take so that they can make their own way and be like, oh yeah, I did this, and I never get my reward or recognition, right? Um, that's the same thing. Like I'm realizing I couldn't do it without God. I couldn't. I had somebody that I looked at as a big brother, a mentor for 15, 16 years, and he switched on me. And I did nothing but love him unconditionally. I never held nothing over his head. I never disrespected him. But it was times where I felt disrespected, right? And then it was times where like I built this in a way where I had two other business partners to where I was just going to run Higher Heights Co, right? The conscious part. He was going to run the establishments, the spark. The other one was going to run the higher fitness so that they could be their own boss. But whatever one took off first, we split it evenly, 33.3%, right? So where it's like, okay, you're free. You might be in California and I'm over here in Illinois and he's over here in Arizona. But, whatever takes off first, we all are going to eat off of it regardless, and we're going to build, right? And I got people that are into conscious apparel, or that really like some of the things that I have, higher perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like because I do design, right? And I started with the online store, right? Because I met with a multimillionaire who owns 3 stores in the airport and has his own bank, and I asked him. I said, if you could do what you did over again, would you do it online? He said, absolutely, because it's going to take away storing product, and having to have all this product on hand. So, him being a multimillionaire and me not having money at all, I took his advice, and I'm like, let me focus on how to build online presence in an online store to where I don't have to have product. And then, sure enough, everything started falling into place. Shopify came up, right? And I built a Shopify. But it's like I also want to turn Higher Heights into an app, right? So that I can have a membership subscription to where, you can get your apparel there, right? You can come there and get one-on-one consultations with me if you need help, or other members that, do that, right? Um, you got people that want to sign up to do the help. You got people that want to sign up to be the help, right? Because you got people that are certified and not certified, right? And that's why you gotta believe in yourself. Because once you are the head of it all, you're in control of it all, right? It's only gonna build if you build it, right? You're I'm only here because you have this platform and you created what you're doing, and you're doing this interviews. Otherwise, I would just be on my own, doing my own thing. And that's why it's so, if I could do it, you can do it. And you see how grateful I am, and how I'm pushing you to keep doing what you're doing, because this is great. Because I'm here today, but somebody's gonna be sitting in that seat tomorrow. And I came in here yesterday, and I supported you and Lonnie. Is it Lonnie Appleton?
Lonnie Appleton, yeah.
Lonnie Appleton, right? And that was a great interview, right? I love that. I was in there tapping the screen and sharing the live, and I was really feeling what she said, because I even became. See, it's not until you really get angry or upset when you're ready to make a change, right? I lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks, right? People can say, oh, oh, you on drugs, or you homeless, or you don't got nothing, or anything like that. Like, I stopped saying that I'm homeless and that I'm home free. And I stopped feeling so alone when I started praying back to God and connecting back to God. And I understand that I'm going through a process, because my purpose is to process progress. And it's been so many times where I was drinking all this soda and overindulging because I had a pleasure over purpose approach. And now I'm changing my perspective on my life to where I'm getting pleasure out of my purpose, right? And I'm approaching it like that, right? To where I don't have to overindulge. Yeah, I used to love cheesesteaks with a little bit of mayo on there. You know what I'm saying? Double meat me up with some large fries. You know what I'm saying? And I would eat that every day, and I would eat tacos every day. You know what I'm saying? And then before I know it, I'm eating so much that I'm just laying down and I'm not doing nothing with myself. I'm watching the TV so much where I'm not doing nothing with myself. And I'm losing myself along the way. Yeah, my pleasures were being met, you know, but then before I know it, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, man, I'm losing sight of who I am and who I want to be. Like, I don't feel like me anymore, right? My chest turned into breast, and uh, me accomplishing great things turned into me just resting and wanting to play the game and watch TV. I'm like, if it's gonna be, it's gonna be up to me. And I know anybody that's been in AA or any type of rehab, they talk about that. If it's gonna be, it's up to me, right? And I'm gonna be rewarded for my recognition. And I recognize myself making these changes. And I'm not telling you to drop soda just like that, but you know, there's substitutes, there's better options. You got the free will to choose. Just like you got the free will to choose. Like, you know what, I'm gonna make today great. Or you know what, nobody talked to me today. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. You know, it's your world, I'm just a part of it. I'm just a certain perspective in your world and your reality, right? And that's why I love to say that, you see things in me that I don't see in myself. I see things in you don't see in yourself. And us being able to share that with one another, it's a beautiful thing, and that's going to help, right? If I got to be the vulnerable person and they got to say all the negative, they're going to talk about you regardless. If I pull up in the nicest cars, I'm like, oh, who is that? Is he a drug dealer? Oh, if I'm walking and I don't got nothing, I'm walking in the rain. Oh, he must be homeless, you know. And people cast judgment. They need to be cast in love
Yeah.
and light, to lift us up. Because, like I said, there's days where I feel like giving up on myself, and there's days where I know I fell short and I let myself go, right? But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be strong, and my confidence wouldn't have raised up, and my health wouldn't have got better, right? And I wouldn't have been more at peace, and I wouldn't have been able to empower myself, right? So I love it. It's great.
Thank you, David. I
Yes,
hope your
thank
mum's
everybody.
okay.
Thank you, everybody over there. Appreciate the love and the support, you guys. I was trying to focus more on you. I know they were popping up, and
I know, I
I
have
kind of went to sleep
pre-warned
too.
everyone that when I've got people
Okay.
in interviews, I want to try and focus on their perspective and what they're doing rather than keep interrupting. Like,
Absolutely.
just,
But we appreciate you guys so much.
oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I have been commenting from my second account, like, thank you. That's why I keep looking down. So you were talking how you worked in hospitality and how
Yes.
you enjoyed it and giving people that feeling. Do you feel
Yes.
like you were born to serve?
Yes. Born to serve others, right? Born to serve others and be an assistant to their happiness, right? Like I said, they want to go out to eat, to have a good meal and to have a good time with their family, eat good food, have a good meal, and have good service, right? And if I can be the one that's in the middle to provide that service, it's up to the company to provide the food, right? And it's up to them to show up, you know? So that empowered me, made me stand out. I was able to make more money than the average person, right? I was able to get more opportunities. Hey, do they pay you enough here? Because I can use somebody with your energy over here, your hospitality, right? And then you go to a lot of places and they don't have good work ethic. Their energy is low. They treat you like you're the reason why they're working there. You're the reason why their life is so hard and bad. And it's like, man, I just asked for a burger and a fry, and it's like, here you go.
Well, I have a rule. When I go into a restaurant, if the server doesn't smile at me, I'm
Right.
not eating. I'm getting up and I'm
Getting
leaving.
up and
Like,
walking out.
that
Right.
that that's all you have to do. I
Right.
understand you can be in a bad mood, but
Hmm.
just a smile, because I worked in the service industry, in hospitality, bar work, event management like you. And last year I left a 20-year career because I felt like all that hard work wasn't appreciated.
Right.
Because
Right. And
over
see,
there it's different. You get paid a tiny wage, and then you work by tips, don't you?
yes, yes. It
Whereas
was like
over
two
here it's
two
a
twenty
wage.
five, 225 an hour plus tips. So like they
Yeah.
literally don't know that we're relying on the tip, right? But you also got to put yourself in the understanding of you're your own boss, right? The food's gonna sell itself, right? The marketing team's gonna advertise, right? And they're gonna be like, oh, come here, uh, to Applebee's and get this, or come get two ribs for 29.99 and a dinner for three or something like that, But people showing up is one part in it. So like it's been plenty of times where I've served people, and I've had horrible attitudes from people, right? Oh, you ain't got nothing good. This ain't good, or I don't want this. I don't want that, right? And then I have people sitting next to them, see how I'm treating them, how I'm responding, and love and light the whole time, and I'm not letting that attitude get to me, right? So like people would ask me like, oh, have you had this? Is this any good? I'm like, I'm honest, like, look, I haven't had it, but it's ordered all the time, and I guarantee we're gonna get you what you like before you leave. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, okay, I can mess with him. I like him, right? He's assuring me that even if I try this and I don't like it, he's gonna give me what I want, right? And that right there, I've had plenty of people pull me aside and hand me money. Like, look, that table, I'm sorry you had to deal with them. You did a great job. You're the only one running around here making you're getting the door for people. You're getting boxes. You're cleaning tables off. You're running dishes, like, and you got great energy. And you're all over the place. You deserve this, right? And I want to speak to your manager. And you know what I'm saying. So it's like that made me feel good, But I also had to understand. I also understood that I went in that field because I had to provide for myself, and I had the understanding that I can get food for free or half off, right? And then before I knew it, 10 years customer service under my belt, right? And now I'm like, dang, I've been doing this for 10 years. I must be doing something right. It gets better over time. It becomes easy. It becomes first nature, and then I got to a point where actually the reason I created Higher Heights is because my ex fiance, me and her both worked at Chili's, and I had worked my way up. I started as a server. I broke my left knee a week after becoming a server. Then I recovered from having a broken left knee in 2 months. And the day I came back, they made me a bartender, right? Went from bartender to food running because the food runner actually made $300 in a night. And I'm just like, wow, he's making way more money than me. And I'm out here busting my butt. All he's doing is dropping chips off in a drink. So I did that, and I made that 300, but then I went for management, right? And then I got a $60,000 offer to do management. And then the day I took that role and got promoted and passed the background check and everything, my ex fiance had to have emergency surgery. Then they pulled me in the office and told me, look, you know, uh, this is going to be, this is going to be a serious surgery. She's going to be out for a little while. You're going to have to choose the position or her. I broke down. I cried. It got to me. That was tough. I'm like, I got an opportunity to change my financial situation and actually put me ahead. And I'm already here. I already do everything, right? I could literally run the whole restaurant if I needed to. Um, that hurt me so much to where I was like, what do you think I chose? Let me ask you this. What do you think I chose?
Fiance.
Exactly. I put her first, right? And then that made me be like, you know what? I'm tired of working for people. And boom, there you got it. Where do I want to go in my life? I want to go to higher heights, right? I've done it enough. I dealt with enough people. I have enough experience and wisdom in how to treat people right. And I know that they come for an experience that like I said, if I don't wake up tomorrow, people that come across this video, they're gonna be like, man, there's something about him that's it's gonna resonate and stick with you, right? And if I can do it, you can do it. You know, I'm not no greater than you. You know, uh, I'm getting back into, and this is the thing, like, religion versus spirituality. There's no separation, and people that are so religious, they be trying to go so hard against spirituality, but it's like, dang, didn't you say that he was the heavenly Father, the Son, and the Spirit, right? Because having a clean spirit has a lot to do with it, right? And cleanliness is the closest thing to godliness, right? Being pure, and trying to be the best you can be, trying to be the best me I can be, and lead by example for others and encourage them to do the same, right? And if you can do it on a small scale, you can do it on a big scale, right? Triniview might become one of the biggest interview platforms in the world, right? And you just got to stay consistent. You got to have that confidence. And you got people like me helping encourage you, and you're encouraging me, and we work together, and it's powerful, and it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, I'm grateful for the opportunity, uh, and I hope that this reaches many, many people, right? Because it's needed. I needed Lonnie Appleton's interview last night. I needed it because it encouraged me to know that what I'm doing. I'm not far off. If I got with somebody like her, like, man, that'd be a great interview itself, right?
She's
Or us as a
absolutely
collective group
awesome.
be able to do it. Absolutely amazing, right? And it's no humility in me making mistakes, me learning, right? Me admitting my faults, and accepting my failures. If I didn't mess up like I messed up, I wouldn't be successful the way I'm successful. But honestly, I'm nothing without you guys. I'm so much better off with you. It's nothing if I had millions of dollars and I had nobody to share it with, right? And that's why I'm always willing to give, keep my head up high, and try to be my highest spirits. Because on the days I'm down, you up there to pick me up. You up there to encourage me to keep my head up. Because even you going live yourself, I'm like, she's staying at it. I should get back to it. I should, um, like somebody that doesn't work out, you might, you're tired of looking at yourself. You're tired of feeling how you feel. Your confidence is shot. But then somebody runs past you and they're the same body size as you, but they're starting, right? That might spark you to be like, you know what? Hey, can I join you tomorrow? Or
Yeah.
they might stop by and look at you and say, hey, you want to join me tomorrow? And that could be life changing, right? Um, but yeah,
So,
that's that.
speaking of Lonnie Appleton, who would you say your favourite TikTokers are?
And it's just so much. It's so many great content. That's hard to choose. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to choose because there's so many out there, and there's so many that I haven't even got to come across yet. But there's a lot of great ones that I've come across, right? And it's so much knowledge, and it's so much. It's courage. You know what I'm saying? It takes courage to do what you're doing, and like to you, that might mean nothing, but you step you come how you come, right? And that's encouraging enough, right? That's why I say that success leaves clues, right? And these people being successful, being consistent, they're being loving, right? Man, the list goes on and on. I'm not gonna lie to you, the list goes on and on because there's some great people on here, and I don't want to pinpoint one. I just want to tell them I'm grateful for them all. I'm grateful for them all, and you're on that list. Just know that you're on that list, and hopefully I'll be on that list for somebody else. Uh, we're great, man. We're amazing. Just don't lose sight of how amazing you are, how great life is. Because the negative energies or the devil, he has a way of trying to take us away from how great we are and how grateful we should be and how loving and caring, how much more powerful we are because love conquers all, right? And when you can love yourself, it's so much easier to love everybody else.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. So, do you want to tell us a bit more about your book? What's that about?
Okay, so my book, you can find my book on Amazon, on ebooks and Kindle. It is called Dear Child of Mine. Okay. Uh, I actually wrote that book when I got put in a situation where I thought I was going to die in jail. I was incarcerated and I thought that I wasn't going to make it out, right? And I'm in my head, I'm very hurt. I was upset, right? I got angry. I got really angry and I'm like, man, I'm finna just write how I feel on paper. And then I went to go write a letter and it was the letter D because I was going to write to my son. And the first letter of his name starts with a D. And then I stopped for a second and I said, what would I want to tell my children if I didn't have a chance to ever see them again, right? And the reason I got put in that mindset was because of COVID, right? I was incarcerated, and I'm hearing on the news and I'm hearing other people talk about how, oh, it's a shortage in food and people going crazy and there's no toilet paper and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man. And then I'm seeing people come in and they're coughing and they're not covering their mouths. And I'm just like, man. And then I had got really sick myself, right? I felt like I was going to die in there. My body was aching. I was really, really hot. All I would do is get up. I would make some hot lemon water, chug that. I would go eat and I go right back to sleep. Go right back to sleep. It took me about 3 days, but I got over it. My power came back. But while I was in that, or like as that was happening, right, I got so upset and I started writing down what would I want to say to my kids if I had one last thing to say to them? Because what if I die in here? And that, once I got out, turned into Dear Child of Mine, a motivational message book for children. And it's not even just for children, it's for adults too, because the message in there is so strong, right? It's short, sweet, and simple. It's a children's book, so it's only like 12 pages long, but the message, may it forever live on, right? May it forever grow. And um, I really, that, like I said, it wasn't until, you go through some of the hardest things when you're able to convert that energy and get it out of you, whether you manifest it, you put it on paper, right? Or you turn it into something. See, like me, I like to come up with all these acronyms, right? Like, because for me, I look at it like God means generator, organizer, and dispenser. And just like he's my heavenly father, just like my physical father, I have traits and characteristics of him. I generate in my mind, I organize my mind, and I dispense it into reality, aka manifest it, right? So, you know, just how you want it to look today, you generated it in your mind. Everything you wanted to do today, you generated in your mind, and you organized it, right? And you dispensed it into real reality, and you made it so. Um, and that's so powerful, right? And if you can keep yourself tempered and balanced and being able to stay focused on what you want, this is why I say I believe you can achieve whatever you believe you can achieve when you
That's why I
stick
like
to
that
it.
Jason Mraz song so much. That anything you want, like literally the whole album was, it was designed in 2009, and he designed it with built-in affirmations
Hmm.
and healing frequencies, like the whole album. Like it's called Live on Earth. You want to give it a listen. Like it's my morning jam. It makes me feel better. Don't matter what kind of mood you're in. Jason Mraz, Live on Earth, proper cheer up. It's absolutely
I'm gonna have to
incredible.
check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out. I haven't never really heard of that person before, you know, uh, but I'm gonna have to check it out. Seeing a lot of it, like I do music myself, right? I do music myself as well, and I have some songs on YouTube. I got a song called Star. If anybody wants to check it out, it's called Star on YouTube by MTK. I used to go by MTK because I felt like music's the key to move the knowledge. Okay. And before that, when I was younger, I used to go by Mo the Kid. And then I just turned it into the abbreviations of MTK. And I had a different understanding, so it had different meanings. So I changed the name, right? Music's the key to move the knowledge. And I got a song called Star, and it's kind of giving the woman back her throne, right? Giving her flowers back. There's no cussing in that song, right? I got a couple other songs. I got a song called New Purse, and I also have a song called Perspective on YouTube that if anybody wants to check out, I think there'd be some great listens, and they would enjoy it. And I appreciate the support, you know. And yeah, so doing music, being an author, being a motivational speaker, right? I go by Epic Essence on YouTube. My very first video was Morals Over Money, right? I got A Stranger's Love on there. I got Impact, Higher Hunt, Your True Purpose, right? Like those are awesome topics that I kind of go into where I'm at and how I feel off of my experience and what I've learned so that I can help somebody else have a clear understanding or how to navigate, right, through those things and kind of speak on the things that everybody's not really speaking about, right? And like I said, if I got to be the first to do it, then so be it. I did my part. And hopefully over time, as it keeps growing and I keep growing, it's going to get out to all the people that it needs to get out to.
So did you say that you did the art for these as well?
Yes. Yep. Yep. I am a graphic designer, right? I'm a barber. I cut hair. I do music. I'm an author. It's kind of, man, you have unlimited possibilities.
Do you have ADHD by any chance?
Do I know ADHD?
Do you have ADHD?
Um, See, I don't be liking to title things like that. I really don't, right?
See, I know it's
I
more of
don't
an
like to.
umbrella term, but I
Right.
always saw ADHD as the ability to go out, gather information, bring it back to the community, info dump it, and then go back off into the world and
Right.
gather more information.
Right.
And then
So if you want to say
autism,
that, I'd say
go on,
yeah. I'd say yes, I have it. If you want to say that, I'd say yes, I have it.
just with you
you
having
know.
so many different creative outlets, that's
Right.
usually a sign that that's the type of brain you have. You're not
Yes.
supposed to be in an office in a 9 to 5 job. You're supposed to
Right.
be gathering information, messing about with it, giving it
Right.
to community, and then going off and
Right.
finding your next task.
Right. Right.
And then an
Absolutely.
autistic person would take that information, perfect it, and use it for the better of the community.
Right.
And it's because the
And see.
system we live in today doesn't see our brain as useful that we're not put into play the way we're supposed to be put into play.
Right.
So it's seen as a disability and it's
Right.
seen as a hindrance, but it's not at all.
Not at all.
Like
See, I think it's
neuronormal.
right. Right. I think it's to me, I'm just like, man, it's just more empowering to myself to understand that I can accomplish these things, you know, and the more that I can accomplish, the more I can help. Right. The more I help. Right. And I wanted to create those I help shirts and get to a point to where I can give them out to the community, and we can all go live, or we can gather and we can go out in the community and clean it up, whether it's trash on the ground, right? Whether it's help elderly people with their groceries or anything like that, right? And we do it as a collective, right? But it's not just all about higher heights, but I be wanting to make it to where it's a thing to where everybody has a role, right? To where if I did higher help and I did counseling, that you would or you would be better off talking to women than I would be able to talk to women, right? They might be more open to you, right? Or or if I turn it into an app to where you're in the UK, you're doing it in the UK, representing it, but you're yourself, so you get your reward and recognition as well, and so on and so forth. And I'm over here doing it. Um, so yeah, it's just why limit myself? Why just be a barber? Why just be an author? Why just do music? You know, when I see all these other people, they're CEOs. And it all started with thought. Like I'm either helping them build their business and live out their dreams, but what are they doing for me? I'm helping them get the whole pie, and I get a crumb of it. And I got to a point where I was tired of that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna figure out how to do this. So.
If you keep giving away the bricks, you're not going to have nothing to build your foundations.
Absolutely.
And once you've built a house, then you can put a roof over everyone's head, can't you? But you got to build the house
Absolutely.
first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But many hint, if it's a lot of us, it's like you grab a brick, he grab a brick, she grab a brick, we grab a brick. That house is gonna be built like this. So it's like if we can go ahead and book somebody else for an interview, your job security is there, right? My job security is there. Everybody wants it. A lot of people want to start their own business. A lot of people want to get their hair done. A lot of people want to publish a book. A lot of people want to learn how to do music or write music, or So it's like it's plenty of things that you can teach yourself, but not unless you learn it, you ain't gonna be able to teach or guide anybody else to do it, right? And that's why I say you believe in yourself and believe that what you're doing, you have purpose in it, and that that it's not just gonna help you, but it's gonna help the collective.
Definitely. So don't forget, everyone, if you want to check out his merch, I've put the link in my bio until tomorrow's live. So if you're in mine, you can call up, go into my link in bio, and that'll take you straight to his merch store. Or you can go straight into his profile, link in his bio. So there's multiple ways to get to it. If you do want to tip, my hand's not showing up, but this is this tip jar. So, you know, even if it's just a couple of quid, anything you can spare, everything helps. And it all goes a long way. I think I've got one more question. Yeah. What's your overall goal? Like the end game?
The end game is honestly to help switch the frequency on the planet and restore what I feel has been destroyed, right? And it's like I said, I feel like us as a collective, we're at a point where we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And I feel like if I can help it, I'm gonna try my best to represent us in a way where I spark that hope and that change, and I fire us up to give that, to be able to change it around, because it always wasn't like this, right? And I honestly believe that we can do better. I honestly believe that we're better together, and I want to be able to have it to where we're all together and we're not living how we're living currently. Even though I'm proud of a lot of people for them going through this process, we're ascending, we're getting better, we actually come together, right? People are actually being more encouraged to step up and be who they truly are, right? And like I said, you stepping up and having the courage that you has encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing, right? And so on and so forth. Atlas over there, him doing what he doing, like, because, you know, I don't feel like I'm less knowledgeable than he is. He's so knowledgeable. He's a grandmaster teacher, right? He's here to help assist and ascend us all, and just like me, and just like you know, and that's why I feel like us coming together. I smile, and in my heart, I know that, like, as time goes on, it's just gonna get bigger and better, y'all.
Definitely.
And there's really hope, right? And a lot of the negative energy can just fade away, right? A lot of the bad stuff can fade away, and we can take it day by day, right? And it's like, as long as you do a little bit better than you did yesterday, today, we're on our way. We're on our way to higher heights. We're on our way to, you know, having a Triniview. You know what I'm saying? We have the atlas. We have the map to get there. You see what I'm saying? It's amazing. It's amazing, and I feel like it's gonna happen. You know, it's definitely gonna happen, and I believe, right? I have to believe it's gonna happen, right? I have to believe that I can show up and represent not only me but us, because I don't care who, I don't care what official, I don't care what stage I gotta get on. I'll get up there on that stage, and what I'm telling you today won't change, right? So I love y'all. I appreciate any donations, man. It really helped me out. It really helps me out. Any support, whether you go and get the book, you know, whether you go to my YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel called Higher Heights as well. I got some shorts on there. I kind of trying to cross-platform some of my content, because I used to go by Epic Essence. If you want to go to Epic Essence on YouTube and follow that, that would be helpful as well. But I'm kind of taking some video clips from Epic Essence and putting it on my Higher Heights page, so you guys know that, you know, I'm the same person, but I got my hands in multiple things, right? And I appreciate the time. Do you have any more questions?
No, that were it.
No,
That were
that's
all
it.
my questions.
Okay.
I did have a few sideline questions through,
Okay.
but I can't remember them because then we got talking about other stuff.
Okay.
But it's been absolutely brilliant having you. Thank you for coming and sharing your perspective. And I think tonight everyone's been really nice in comments as well. There've been no nasty comments to mute, so it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes.
Don't forget,
Thank you guys so much.
don't just believe things you hear on the internet.
Amen.
Do the research, do the experiments, put it to practice. And then if it works, it's obviously for you.
Right.
But there's too much misinformation, so don't just believe anything. Make sure that you head over and check out his merch store. Even go over to his page if you can't afford to send him any money or buy his merch. You can just go over, like his videos, repost his videos, boost his account. The more we help each other out, look at all the people that are in top running for this weeklies and stuff. And these are horrible people that are nasty to each other. So why can't we build a community and get to that sort of level? You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, it was a pleasure, y'all. It was a pleasure. Anytime, whenever you, if you, however you plan on doing this, I would love to contribute and keep, I just want to encourage us to keep going, right? You got people that look up to you that care. You got people that are really there and that support you. So
Definitely.
I thank you guys for the time. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see y'all in higher places.
Yep, definitely.
Love and
And you
light,
will
you
probably
guys.
be on show again soon because once I've gone through all questions and put them into my research, I'll probably remember my questions again then. So I've
Sounds
got to go
perfectly
through
fine
and
with
watch
me.
the live again to remember them all.
Okay. Sounds perfectly fine with me. I would more than be happy to come up again. And I appreciate
Brilliant.
you for having me on this
I
time, all right?
appreciate you for coming and sharing your perspective and being willing to answer my questions.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jay, Atlas. I think tomorrow's live even called in to say hi. We're doing a spot of fishing tomorrow. She's
Okay.
going to show us a few tricks. She's not like a professional, but I think it's a skill that people could use when society collapses.
Okay.
So a bit of fishing tomorrow, learn a bit of skills there. And
Okay.
Atlas is joining us next week. Hopefully only
Yeah. I'm
spirit.
looking forward to
So
that. Yeah. Let's go.
yeah, definitely.
Let's go.
Thank you. So do I just refer to you as higher or is this something you'd prefer me to call you?
Um, you can call me Epic Essence if you want. You can call me Epic Essence.
Could I
I,
just call you
I
Epic then?
Yep, you can call me Epic if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I go by Epic Essence. Like I said, I do motivational speaking on there. Higher Heights is more like my company slash brand. To be able to have a platform to where I can get the accessories out and we can build from there. And it's like just the name itself resonated so hard with me. Like when you see it, when you think of Higher Heights, what do you think of?
Climbing to the top of that mountain.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Thank you
kind of
so much for
You're very
joining.
welcome. You're very
It's been
welcome. It was a
absolutely
pleasure.
brilliant.
It was my pleasure. All right, thank you guys very
Everyone,
much.
thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the likes. I think Jay's pretty much stayed all the way through tonight, haven't you, Jay? You've enjoyed this live, haven't you?
Yes, Jay.
David
Thank you for
even
showing
called in.
up, David,
Yeah,
Atlas. I seen you guys. See you.
yeah.
Everybody that came in. It's a pleasure.
You can tell the consistent people though, can't you? Like Jay's
Yeah.
consistent, Atlas is
Yes.
consistent, Only Spirit's
Yes.
consistent.
Yes. Well, you guys, I gotta get going. I
Yeah.
gotta go to the bathroom.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and I hope to see you tomorrow on Triniview.
All right.
See you
Bye
all
bye, guys.
later. Bye. Have a day full of love and joy. If I could turn it off.